Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to share the tips of how to overcome the fear of driving in US and also how to pass your license test. Many of you can very well relate to me because I was one among like you who was very scared of driving in US. But now I regularly drive in US and so I will share my own personal experience of how I overcame the fear and also useful tips on license test. So let's start the video. So first, I will give the tips of how to overcome the fears. The first fear of driving in US is the rules. Yes, there are so many rules in US that makes you really confusing. But initially it will be like that friends. But after that when you start driving over years, those rules will become very handy for you. So do not fear of the rules in the US. The next is the road fear. Many ladies will be there like who have never driven any vehicle in their entire lifetime. So when they want to first drive on the road, it will be a big fear for them. So to overcome this fear, what you can do is my husband initially took me to an empty parking lot where there are no cars. This made me to first learn how to drive. So this will be very useful for many of you out there because when there is an empty parking lot, you will not have any fear of bumping over any cars. So initially for first 1 week, you try to practice in an empty parking lot. Then you can slowly advance to the roads around your residence because those roads will be very familiar to you. You will know where will be signals, where will be stop sign. So when you are comfortable with the roads, you can drive with much more confidence. So slowly from parking lot, you can advance to roads around your area and then you can slowly advance to the highways. So in this way, you can overcome your road fear very easily, friends. The next problem in driving for ladies is your husband becomes your instructor and so he will be giving lot of instructions which makes your mind goes blackout. Yes, this happens to many ladies. It happened to me too because once my husband sits on the passenger seat and becomes my instructor, he starts giving instructions like do not go to left, do not go to right, do not play with your steering wheel. So many instructions will be given by my husband. So what I did was I will either become very frustrated or I will become so hopeless that I stop driving. So what I did was I changed my attitude, friends. I started taking the instructions from my husband to my mind and not to my heart. Yes, friends, this is the problem with ladies because once their husband sits as a learning instructor, what they do is they take all the instructions given to their heart and they think they are not at all fit for driving and so they lose their hope. But if you think your husband as only the learning driving instructor, then you will start taking the instructions in a good way. So I changed my attitude and after that I started taking instructions in a good way and I learned my driving much more faster. And also after few days, I started pretending that my husband is not there and I was driving only on my own. So in this way, I was much more confident and it did not give me much tension on my mind and so I learned my driving much more faster, friends. The next mistake many ladies do when they are driving is they do not maintain the frequency in driving. Yes, they practice for first 2 days and then they take a break for one whole week. Then again they start fresh in the next week. The problem here is you will forget the lessons what you learned for the first 2 days and so it will be like starting fresh from the next week. Because driving only comes with practice. So if you practice only on a regular basis, then only you can get your license easily, friends. So when I was practicing driving, I used to practice for like a 1 month regularly without any break. So this also helped me to clear my license test on the first attempt itself. So talking about license test, how to clear your license test. So I will give tips on how to clear your license test on the first attempt itself. The first tip is be overcautious when you're driving. Yes, the driving instructor will definitely look for this. Whether you're watching the mirrors, whether you're looking for pedestrians, all these things will be definitely watched over when you are driving on the license test. Actually, being cautious is very important for driving, but on the driving test day, you have to be little more overcautious, at least pretend to be overcautious, then only you can pass the license test. The second tip is become familiar with the roads around your DMV office. What I did was I went a week before my license test to the areas around the DMV office. I drove around the area. So this made me familiar with the roads, the road sign, the stop signal, everything I was very familiar and I would know where the residential area was there. So I will be overcautious when I enter the residential area. So in this way, it will be very helpful to you, friends. You can drive with much more confidence on the day of your license test. Okay friends, my personal experience would have been very useful for many ladies out there and really motivating too, I guess. So if you are really afraid of taking your car, please drop down the fear and take your car keys and start driving. You will become much more independent after that. Okay friends, if you like the video, give a thumbs up, share to your friends too, and do not forget to subscribe my channel. Bye.